Apparently, some of these so-called satellite detectives are afraid to pick the losing side. So they have to be extra careful about how they maneuver through these delicacies. Obviously, the winning side is that of the people. You like people, right? Aren't you a person? Okay. So the losing side is the Nazis. Because how can they possibly win? Even if they overthrow the country and assume a government position of some sort, presidential campaign, I don't fucking know. No one's going to vote for these murderous fucking pigs. So everything they want, they'll have to take by force. So they lose. Every country out there is waiting and watching to see what happens. Right now, you're keeping them in the wind with your lies, but as soon as they see the truth, you best believe they will move in. So you're sitting there saying, well, I don't know which side's going to win, and I have to be on the winning side. Life is the winning side. Good, honest, decent people is the winning side. Always. Even if we're outnumbered by these goddamn maggot motherfucking Nazi motherfucking hog, swine, cop, pieces of shit, pigs. Military or police, it don't really matter. I don't care how many bankers or courts or lawyers they got in their pocket or how many crooked politicians are frightened to death of what they've done, so they use these dirty cops to cover up their shit. I don't care how many of you there is. I don't care how much you try to intimidate me or force your way into my fucking brain. Irrelevant. We win. Just because we're better people. Because we have morals, we have common sense and common decency. We care about each other. You fucks don't. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Half your numbers will be depleted from squabbling alone. The other half, starvation, exposure. What are you going to do? Just break into houses repeatedly? I mean, without a supply chain, without taxpayers, without slaves, you have nothing. You're literally just some fucking pig motherfuckers waving around your badge trying to take over the country. That's it. Anyone who fights for you is a fucking idiot. The losing side. So these so-called Nazi satellite detectives are guilty by association alone, but that don't mean they deserve life in prison. I don't know. I'd probably throw them in jail, but maybe a fine is good enough. How does the American people feel about this? There's over 300 million of them. Do you like these Nazi motherfuckers in your head? Huh? I doubt they asked you. Well, Canada only has 30 odd million. We're horribly outnumbered. Your 75 million Nazi voters alone could overthrow our country. Illegally. Then they'd be known as Nazi Canada. And see how everyone else lines up to fucking rape them then. It's funny, the whole world was ready to jump Germany because of what they did to the Jews in the concentration camps. And yet you're letting it all happen again, and it's even worse this time. Because I believe, how many Jews died in World War II? Millions, I know, but how many people have died around the world in this last year? I'm not talking about the millions that die as a result of smoking or car accidents or fucking shark attacks. Those are falsified numbers anyways. I'm talking about real, legitimate fucking Nazi crimes. Because it's gone on for over a year, it's going to be very hard to sort out this evidence. It's going to be quite messy, you see, and the longer it goes on, the even more complicated it becomes to sort out this evidence and find the guilty parties involved. It's almost like you want to give them as much time as possible to cover their tracks and flee the scene. Imagine a year ago you turned over these guilty fucking cops. You could have had them incarcerated, the world would have went round. But a year later, the entire police force of Canada has been implemented. The courts around the country, the law, yeah, the entirety of it, fucked forevermore. Canada will never be the same. I know Canada means the people, and the people will always be present, I suppose. But the governing party is done. This country will be hawked up into pieces and sold. You did that, you motherfucking pig box. And you think you're still going to be employed afterward? I tried to pitch the idea of a civil workforce. Thought that'd be better than jail, you know, work off your years. God only knows what's in the wind for years now. It's not looking good.